It's the kind of story that sounds more like a screenplay than real life. A young woman working in a Gucci store, clocking in day after day, folding shirts, greeting customers, and sweeping the floors of Madrid's luxury fashion scene. Her name, Georgina Rodríguez. At the time, she was unknown, quietly navigating her daily grind. But fate had other plans. Every morning, she would wake up before sunrise in her modest apartment. Her commute involved a long metro ride, packed shoulder to shoulder with other workers heading to their own unglamorous jobs. She'd arrive at Gucci before the doors opened, making sure everything was spotless. Her job was demanding, serving high-end clients with precision and grace, all while maintaining a cheerful face. To the world, she was just another store assistant in a designer boutique. No red carpets, no flashing cameras, just long hours, sore feet, and dreams she didn't dare speak too loudly. But even then, there was something special about her. Colleagues later recalled her elegance, her discipline, the way she carried herself. She wasn't flashy or loud. She was calm, observant, and quietly ambitious. She knew she was capable of more. She just didn't know how or when her break would come. Then, in June 2016, everything changed. Cristiano Ronaldo walked in, not with a full entourage, not with fanfare, just casually browsing, perhaps looking for a jacket or a gift. For Georgina, it was a surreal moment. She knew exactly who he was. Everyone did. The biggest football star on the planet. And now, he was standing in front of her, smiling, asking about a coat. Their first conversation was short, polite, professional, but behind the scenes, something clicked. Ronaldo was intrigued. Georgina was captivated. It was subtle. No wild flirting, no cheesy pickup lines. Just a spark. Something rare, something real. Over the next few weeks, they ran into each other again. At events, at parties, away from the eyes of the public. Slowly, quietly, a relationship began to form. At first, it was secret. Ronaldo was incredibly private, and Georgina, still working long shifts, didn't even tell her co-workers. She didn't want to jinx it. She didn't want to assume anything. But love has a way of revealing itself, and soon, the paparazzi caught wind. One blurry photo of them leaving a restaurant together, and suddenly, her life would never be the same. From that moment on, Georgina's name was everywhere. Blogs, tabloids, social media. People wanted to know, who is this mystery woman who stole Cristiano Ronaldo's heart? Reporters dug into her past. Photos from her childhood surfaced. Some praised her beauty and humble beginnings. Others, cruelly, called her a gold digger, an opportunist. The spotlight was harsh, but Georgina held her head high. She didn't crumble. She didn't clap back. She simply carried on gracefully, quietly, and with a new sense of purpose, because deep down, she knew who she was, and she knew her story was just beginning. One ordinary day in 2016, everything changed. A man walked into the store, not just any man, but Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the most famous and powerful athletes in the world. Their eyes met. Their worlds collided, and in that moment, a love story began, one that would launch Georgina into the stratosphere of global fame. But this isn't just a story about love. It's about reinvention. It's about ambition. It's about how Georgina went from being a retail assistant earning modest wages to gracing the covers of fashion magazines, walking red carpets, and becoming an international icon in her own right. Before that Gucci store, Georgina's path was anything but glamorous. She was born on January 27, 1994, in Buenos Aires, Argentina, to a Spanish mother and Argentine father. Her family moved to Jaca, a small town in northern Spain, where she was raised in humble circumstances. Her father, Jorge Rodríguez, struggled with legal troubles, and money was tight. Georgina wanted more. She had dreams of dance, fashion, and travel. She began studying classical ballet from a young age, training for years with discipline and grace. But as she grew older, she realized that dance wouldn't be her lifelong career. So, she pivoted. She moved to Madrid to try her luck in the fashion world. Georgina gained over 1 million Instagram followers in just a few months after being publicly linked to Ronaldo. Today, she boasts more than 50 million followers, making her one of the most followed women in Europe. But what's more surprising than the numbers is how she's used that platform. Georgina didn't just become an influencer, she became a brand. With every post, she redefined what it means to be a modern celebrity. She shares glimpses of her glamorous lifestyle. Yachts, fashion shows, red carpets, but she also posts about family breakfasts, her workouts, and quiet moments with her children. The contrast is striking. She's living in mansions, flying private, wearing haute couture, but she still makes time to bake cookies with her kids. That duality, glamour, and groundedness is what keeps millions watching. Because behind every diamond necklace and designer bag is a woman who still remembers folding shirts at Gucci. She didn't inherit fame. She earned it. Not through scandal or controversy, but by walking into one of the most intimidating relationships on earth and carving out her own space. And she didn't stop at Instagram. Netflix noticed her meteoric rise and offered her a deal most influencers could only dream of, a docuseries about her life.
Too heavy. Despite her mother and sister's efforts, Georgina had no choice but to drop out. That moment crushed her, but it didn't break her spirit. Determined to change her family's fate, she pivoted to fashion. But even that dream required money, a lot of it. So she made a bold decision. One day, she told her mom and sister, "I'm going to Madrid." She packed her things and took a train to the city, hoping to make ends meet. Her first job? Waitressing. It wasn't glamorous, but it was a start. A few months later, she moved to San Sebastian, a few hours from home, where she landed a job at Massimo Dutti. A much-needed upgrade in both pay and opportunity. It was the break she needed to start saving for her fashion career until tragedy struck again. One phone call changed everything. Her sister's voice trembled. "Gio, it's Mom. Come quick." Georgina's mother had been in a car crash and didn't make it. Losing her father to prison was painful. But losing her mother, the woman who supported her through everything, was devastating. Just when she was starting to rise, the rug was pulled out from under her. Still, she didn't let it defeat her. With the support of her friends and her sister Ivana, Georgina found new motivation. She would succeed for her mother's sake. Knowing English would open doors in the fashion world, she took another risk. She flew to the UK. In Bristol, she worked as a nanny.
I Am Georgina premiered in 2022, and suddenly, the whole world got to see the woman behind the headlines. Her childhood in northern Spain, her heartbreaks, her hustle, her transformation. It wasn't all fairy tale. There were struggles, losses, and moments of deep insecurity. But there was also love, strength, and a burning drive to be more than just Ronaldo's girlfriend. She became a cultural icon in her own right. Fashion brands lined up for collaborations. She graced the covers of Vogue, Elle, and Harper's Bazaar. She walked the Cannes red carpet like she was born on it. And yet, she never lost sight of what mattered. Georgina often says that family is her center. Despite the global spotlight, her day still revolves around her children, Cristiano Jr., the twins Ava and Matteo, and the daughter she shares with Ronaldo, Alana Martina and Bella Esmeralda. She's also stepped into philanthropy, supporting causes that focus on childhood education, poverty relief, and women's empowerment. In interviews, she talks about wanting to be a role model not because of the designer gowns, but because of the journey. Because she knows there are thousands of young girls just like her, working long hours, dreaming of something bigger. And perhaps that's the real reason her story resonates. Because Georgina Rodríguez isn't just a woman who found fame through love. She's someone who built her own empire from it. With heart, with resilience, and with the elegance of someone who knows where she came from and exactly where she's going. In Madrid, Georgina found work at Gucci. It was a job, but for her, it was also a chance to be near beauty, creativity, and ambition. She never imagined that behind the counter, she'd meet someone who would change everything. When Ronaldo entered that Gucci store, he wasn't just browsing. He noticed her. Quiet, polite, and strikingly beautiful. For Georgina, the moment was surreal. "I was shaking in front of him," she later said in an interview. Their conversation was brief, but it was enough. A few days later, they met again at a Dolce & Gabbana event. Sparks flew. This time, it wasn't just a crush, it was something real. Their relationship blossomed in private, away from the media glare. But that didn't last long. When you date Cristiano Ronaldo, privacy is a luxury you can't afford. Paparazzi followed her, tabloids speculated, and suddenly Georgina's face was everywhere. But she didn't shrink under the pressure, she rose. Georgina gained over 1 million Instagram followers in just a few months after being publicly linked to Ronaldo. Today, she boasts more than 50 million followers, making her one of the most followed women in Europe. But fame wasn't enough. Georgina was determined not to be seen as just a footballer's girlfriend. She wanted to build something of her own. So she got to work. She entered the fashion world full force, becoming a muse for luxury brands, attending Paris Fashion Week, Cannes Film Festival, and more. She walked red carpets like a seasoned pro, dressed by designers who once ignored her DMS. She also became a mother. In 2017, Georgina and Ronaldo welcomed their first child together, Alana Martina. And while Ronaldo already had children through surrogacy, Georgina became a mother figure to all of them, Cristianinho, Eva, and Matteo, forming a tight-knit, loving family. Her bond with the kids is one of the most heartwarming parts of her story. In Netflix's hit documentary, I Am Georgina, we get a rare glimpse into their lives. Breakfasts at their mansion in Turin, helicopter rides, family vacations on super yachts, but also the small things, bedtime stories, helping with homework, making pancakes. Georgina often organizes surprise parties and themed events for the kids, once transforming their home into a winter wonderland just for a Christmas celebration. But it hasn't all been perfect. In 2022, tragedy struck. Georgina was pregnant with twins, a boy and a girl. But during childbirth, their son, Angel, tragically passed away. Only their daughter, Bella Esmeralda, survived. It was a devastating loss. Georgina later spoke about the pain. The happiest moment became the saddest. And yet, through unimaginable grief, she showed strength, grace, and resilience, qualities the public hadn't seen before but deeply admired. Her brand evolved. She launched partnerships with beauty and wellness companies, appeared in campaigns for brands like Guess and Yamame, and built her own line of luxury athleisure wear. She also became an ambassador for various charities and supported causes related to children and education. And let's not forget her lifestyle, a head-spinning mix of glam, travel, and family. She travels on Ronaldo's $65 million Gulfstream G200 jet. She vacations on $20 million yachts. She shops in Paris, dines in Dubai, and works out in private gyms with views of the sea. Georgina reportedly spends over $100,000 a month on clothes, accessories, and beauty treatments, though she insists most of her high fashion is loaned by brands. But the biggest flex? Her loyalty. Through fame, tragedy, and scrutiny, Georgina has remained fiercely loyal to Ronaldo, and he to her. "She's the love of my life," Ronaldo once said in an interview. And it shows. From public kisses to private support, their bond remains unbreakable. Critics once dismissed her as a gold digger, a social climber, a temporary fling. But Georgina has proven them all wrong. She's built a name, a brand, a family, and she's done it with elegance and authenticity. She's now one of the most influential women in Europe. Not because she's loud, but because she's real. Her rise is not just a story of dating a superstar. It's about taking the spotlight and making it her own. Sometimes they just need Gucci. But let's be clear, this isn't just a Cinderella story with stilettos instead of glass slippers. Georgina didn't just fall into a life of luxury, she learned to navigate it. From studying ballet as a child, which taught her grace and discipline, to handling intense media scrutiny with calm and poise, she has shown time and again that she's not just surviving the spotlight, she's owning it. Georgina once said she couldn't afford to heat her tiny apartment during winters in Madrid. Now, she curates wardrobe collections for luxury fashion houses and rides in multi-million-dollar supercars. Yet she often posts about gratitude, reminding followers of how far she's come. She's also carved out her space as an independent force. She's launched her own clothing line, collaborates with major beauty brands, and even signed a publishing deal. Her eye for design, business acumen, and dedication to fitness have turned her from model to mogul. And all of this while being a hands-on mother to 5 children. Despite being the partner of one of the most followed men on Earth, Georgina has a clear identity beyond that. She's not just Mrs. Ronaldo, she's Georgina Rodríguez. Elegant, ambitious, and deeply rooted in family. Her love story may have started at Gucci, but where it's going is entirely her own design. And that's what makes her rise truly remarkable.